If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hey, hi all. Okay, so what has we learned, on last Friday?
In the last week, actually, what we learned is like we learned about different environment actually, and then development approach, like logging into system and looking at that projects actually, so,
Right.
and all other like theoretical concept as well, like.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So we learned BTP, we learned BS as well, right? And we have checked the components of BS. And however, we have seen only few commands of the Cloud Foundry, which we are going to deep dive further, right? Along with that, today, what we are going to start with, we are going to start with the Cloud Foundry concepts. Okay, then probably Kyma concepts. Okay, a Kyma environment, right? And the differences what we have, and post differences we are going to start with the application development. Okay, so just as we are starting, right, we'll start with very simple applications. Okay, and then we are going to create the destinations and we will take it forward with the sessions. Okay, so guys, I will take a pause. If anybody has any questions from the previous sessions, feel free to ask. Okay, otherwise we'll start with the part of it.
Chintan, Brajesh here, one question here.
Yeah, Brajesh.
Yeah, Chintan, do we need to connect cloud connector as well?
If you would like to, if you like to connect with the on-premise, yes, we need to connect, Rajesh.
Because we are using BAS actually. So for that, I guess to connect with the system, actually this S4 HANA, that BTP training system, what has been provided, to connect we require a cloud connector, right? Or not required actually. So.
Okay, Rajesh, you raised the fair point. Okay, can you please let me know what kind of S4 HANA system access you have been provided?
Before training, actually, we got a one system access, right? So as for HANA system, I guess that
Okay.
so
I'll check it out. Okay, I'll check it out. But yeah, definitely, if you want to connect with any kind of on-premise systems, okay,
yeah,
we need to, yeah, in that case, we need to have the cloud connector configured, Rajesh.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine, guys, so we'll start with the, Cloud Foundry part of it, and probably, I mean, we can take it up, start with that.
Hi all. Okay, so today we are starting with the Cloud Foundry. Now first let's understand what is Cloud Foundry and what is a Neo environment. Okay, now earlier when SAP came into picture, that time they were not using any kind of environment, let's say Kyma, ABAP, these are not there in picture. Now because they have upgraded and moving on to the cloud native functionalities and all, they have two separate feature A and feature B depending on to the requirement or certain other factors coming in picture. They will bring up either the Neo or either the Cloud Foundry. Now what is a Cloud Foundry? Cloud Foundry is a polyglot environment. Now when I say it's a polyglot environment, what I mean by that is Cloud Foundry is providing you with the flexibility of having your own tool as well as having the open source runtimes for your application. Basically, Cloud Foundry is a cloud model of a PaaS, okay, platform as a service, where you are getting different types of runtime, even different types of services and other sort of things which will help you to build your application. Now when you go with the Neo environment, what we had is, first of all, the Neo was a SAP proprietary. Okay, it has some of the other systems, but the most of the support was only for the SAP data centers. But when you go with the Cloud Foundry, you will be able to use multiple data centers. Basically, if you log into your sub accounts, what you have multiple hyperscalers which are provided like AWS, GCP, and Azure. These are the data centers that will help you. Okay, even if you look at the Neo, the limitation was onto the programming languages that were supported. Okay, the languages mostly supported were the Java, HTML5, HANA XS. Okay, but when you go with your Cloud Foundry, what you have is you have the application support for Java, Node.js, Spring, Python, and certain other DBs also which are there. Okay, even you have the flexibility of bringing your own tools. Now what does the Cloud Foundry says is, you have to just tell me what is the application that you are basically pushing, irrespective of the runtimes and the compilers. For example, let's say I have to run a Java application, then what I need a Java compiler or a Java processor. But when I just push my application onto the Cloud Foundry, what I just have to push my application into a space which is hosted onto some organization. Okay, now let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible for you. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, now how do we log into the Cloud Foundry? Okay, can anyone tell me how do I log into the Cloud Foundry? Terminal.
Terminal
Yeah.
you can open and CF
How do I
login.
go
And
to login? At least one should tell. Either I do it by graphical or either I go with a terminal. Okay, just because we are exploring CLI today. Okay, now what does the CLI stand for? It stands for your command line interfaces. Okay, now there are two types of command line interfaces that we have. One is you have a BTP CLI. Okay, that is basically used by your admins and some other resources which will help you to take care of your accounts, sub accounts. If you want to have a deep dive onto the BTP CLI, what you can do is you can go to the tools.hana on demand. Okay, this is basically a site which is provided by SAP, which will help you with the certain installations or any other software which are required for the SAP developments. Okay, so we have this. Okay, you can go to this BTP CLI, just log into this because it will be working onto your local instances. Okay, you have this as a client. What you need is you have to have a CLI, BTP CLI client to work with this. Right now, I am not going to do any kind of a local installation. Taking into consideration, we still have the limitation of the installation and all sort. So I'm just letting you know that there are two types CLI. One is a BTP CLI and one is a CF CLI. Now when I say a CF CLI, I am referring to the Cloud Foundry CLI. Okay, if you want to get familiar yourself with this, you can even do the installations onto your own systems and try to explore this. Basically, when you do this BTP CLI, you'll be able to list some of the accounts, sub accounts, the global accounts, or what kind of a privilege a user or an admin can give it to a global user. Okay, so this will be done with a BTP CLI, basically taking a control of a global account and then taking care of. But for us, the main concern is the application related stuff, which is related to the Cloud Foundry. Okay, so when I want to log into the CFCLI, what I'll do is I'll go to the terminal, open a new terminal. Okay, the first thing is just see what is the environment that you are logging to. Okay, so CFCLI login. Now when I am doing the CFCLI login, I am basically logging into the Cloud Foundry. Okay, when I'm logging into the Cloud Foundry, it is related to the application spaces. Okay, now once you have logged into the Cloud Foundry, what it will do, just give me a second. 1 minute, I'm stopping the screen share. One minute, let me see if I can log in via this Cloud Foundry itself. And then can you try on your side if it is allowing you to log in?
Yeah, sure. Let me try
Sorry.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Vishal here. Sorry to ask, but I just forgot. Can you help me with the endpoint? Where do I get that link?
Basically, you will be getting it onto the sub account level. Meanwhile,
Okay.
I think Chintan would try to logging into the Cloud Foundry space. Vishal, meanwhile, you can share your screen. I'll just show you. That would be helpful for rest of
I
the
remember
people.
you showed, but somehow
Yeah.
I forgot.
No problem.
Actually, last week I was registered with the client email, which is not a good idea. So over a weekend, I did that whole setup again with my personal email.
Yeah. See here onto you're onto your sub account level, right? So
Yes.
under the general, or either if you move on to the Cloud Foundry tab, you'll be able to do that.
I'm sharing my screen. This is the endpoint.
Yeah. If you want to have the login also, you can log in. If your BAS is already open, just try to push in. Just allow. Just allow that, no problem. Try to put in your email. What is the password that you're using, Vishal?
Yeah.
For me also the same issue. When I enter the password, it's showing the same error. The Vishal is not right. Yeah.
If that is the case, what you can do is, Vishal, can you just go back to your screen, please?
Okay.
Your application studio. From the bottom, you have 3 dots. Onto your left palette.
Yes.
Onto your left palette. Can you just try to log in with the Cloud Foundry?
Cloud Foundry?
Yes, that way. Can you just go to the services, please? Login required. Click onto that.
Should I close this?
No, that's not required. Can you just close this get started? Even you can close off your terminal, which is not required. Close that. Can you just log in via SSO passcode? There is a credential and there is a SSO passcode. Vishal, just go to your business application studio. There is the credential and one is the SSO passcode. Use the SSO passcode. Click on to that link. It's like a OTP. Okay, it will be a one-time usage. Okay. Open that. Open that. It will give you a hexadecimal code. Sign in with the default identity provider. Copy that. There is a option, right? You can even copy that. Paste it over here and then just sign in. Okay. Now just hold on over here. As soon as you try to sign in, it will ask you for your Cloud Foundry organization. Okay. By default, when you created your Cloud Business Application Studio, auto-generated ending with a trial. Okay. There is a digit or an email, hexadecimal code has been created ending with a trial that refers to your organization. Okay, now whenever you log into your Cloud Foundry, it will have a Cloud Foundry organization and a Cloud Foundry space. Okay, space refers to the environment which is present. Let's say I have a quality development and all those things, but how is the organization refers to your billing space. So under one organization you can have a system called as dev. In one another organization you can have a space which is related to the production. Okay, by default you have one space which is created. If you drop down, if you use the drop down, there is by default a dev space. Okay, now if you want to validate, can you just go on to your sub account, please? Sub account onto your trial environment. Okay, here just scroll it down a little bit. The Cloud Foundry environment. Don't hop onto any other. Just go to the Cloud Foundry. You have General, Cloud Foundry, Kyma, and the entitlements. Okay, you have this dev spaces, and if you want to see what is your organization, so can you go to your sub account a level back? Click that. Right. Yeah, click that. Okay, just move to the next tab, that is Cloud Foundry. Here you'll be able to find your organization name. Okay, right now because we are onto the trial environment, we are having only one organization, but you can create multiple spaces. Okay, depending on to the quota plans that are available. By default, that is some 4098 as a value that is available. Okay, if you want to see what is the space that you have, you can go to the spaces, click onto the spaces. You have it over here, right? Yeah. Click that. Here you see organization quota. For right now, I have one organization and one quota. So that is available. Just go back onto a trial space. Okay, here you have this memory services. Now out of 400 service instances that you can use, you're using 4 out of it. Okay. Now if you want to create a space, you can also create a space. Try creating a space over here. Here it will tell what kind of a role it is available, whether it is a space developer, space manager, and all those things. Okay. So that's What?
You want me to create or cancel?
No. As of now, don't create anything. See, earlier when you logged on to when your login was successful, right? That time you had it as a CF login and the number of the spaces were available. Now, if you're creating any space except your dev space, that all spaces would be listed over there as well. Is it clear till here?
Yeah.
Anurag seems to have a question.
Yes, actually, when I try to log in, it is automatically goes to Fury application. How can we go for there?
What is that?
Ganesh,
Maybe you
Ganesh,
can you share your screen?
Yes.
We can
yeah,
understand.
the screen. The thing is, I over here and go for CF login. It actually take a API of Fury.
Anurag, I think you're sharing some of the screen.
No, I'm sharing a correct screen.
Yeah, now we can.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
When I go for a CF login, it is how to go to Fury login. It is not asking for API.
Okay, just hold on. Can you close all of the windows that are open onto the code editor side, please?
Okay, this is the only screen right now remaining.
No. Just hold on. No problem. Just go to the instances and subscription. From there, you launch your Business Application Studio.
Okay, 1 minute. This one?
Yes.
Now,
Can you just click that? Yeah, click that.
Yeah.
Now, just close the files that are open onto your code editor side, which is nothing but app.controller.js, which is open. First thing is, can you just collapse that users onto your Explorer window? There is a users which is open. Just cancel this part. Just cancel this part. Okay. Now close all of the code editor windows. Basically files, you have those files open, right?
This one, I have to close settings.
Yeah, just close it off.
Yeah.
Close this one as well. Okay. Now go to your file.
Okay.
Go to your open folder. Open folder.
Mm-hmm.
Users. Scroll it down. Projects. That's it. Just click OK. It will relaunch your Business Application Studio.
Okay. Then start over here.
Yeah. Now close this. Get started.
This one?
Yes. Now try CF login.
Yeah, automatically comes the API. It is not asking for API.
What is it you're saying, Anurag?
I am saying it is automatically showing the API instead of we search over here and get it over here.
Might be you have logged in some other time earlier in this space. So that is why it is just directly pointing out to your API endpoint. If you have a doubt, what you can do is you can just confirm it onto your sub account level, whether it is redirecting you to your API.
Yeah. Instead condition, I will go for the instances, correct?
No, you don't have to go to the instances. You have to validate your API, right? API endpoint for your Cloud Foundry. So which space you will go to? You will go to your sub account space.
Yeah, is a sub account trial is a space, correct? Is it already sub
You are
account?
onto the subscriptions of your trial space. Can you just go back one space? Here you'll be able to find, right? You have a Cloud Foundry environment over here.
Yeah, it is already logged in.
It is just taking your endpoint. You have not logged into the system yet.
No. My question is again whether we require to log in or not.
We have to log in, right? Otherwise, see, if I have multiple spaces, let's say I am just taking a scenario. I am saying that I have to deposit 100 rupees. Now I have to tell which bank account I have to deposit, right? Otherwise, how will it identify? It will not process it on its own. So even though you have mentioned that URL, you have to still log in into that particular space or the organization. Can you just hop on back to your Cloud Foundry Business Application Studio, please? Here you have to validate yourself so that it will give you an organization and the space onto which your applications will be deployed.
Actually, my question is, on Friday, I have to make a login for Fury. Correct.
I think it just
Yes,
memorized your endpoint. That's it. It hasn't logged in automatically.
It has not logged
Memorized
in
the
yet.
endpoint.
No, both are the same or different? Because yesterday we already did one login session. On
Okay.
Friday itself, there's a one login session which will do the same thing. Correct.
But you have to validate every time. Okay, it's not a
No,
auto
I said it.
process.
Yeah, it's the same as it is on Friday we did. No, I agree with you. This is the same or a different. I'm saying asking this thing.
No, it's the same.
Okay, then it is already logged in on Friday. That's okay. Then it's no issue.
That's the
You can
same thing
also
we did on
verify.
Friday, and today also we
Yeah,
are doing CF login, email, password, and then it
Yeah,
should
yeah,
ideally
it's okay.
you can also
authenticate.
verify with your trial sub account. You can verify the endpoint also. Yeah,
Okay, fine. It's okay.
it
Then
is
it's
same.
okay. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
same.
same
Then it's
link.
okay.
It's the same.
Uh,
Yeah, let's
I have
proceed.
one question. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question here.
Yes,
Uh,
Mohit.
yeah, as you told earlier that there's a different environments like BTP environment and CF environment, Cloud Foundry environment. So as both of them serve almost the same purpose, they also provide, list down the development space, account, organization details. So what is the basic difference between the two that differentiate both of them?
Okay. Let's say it is purely onto the skills that you have available. For example, let's say I have someone who is working onto the Python and I still have a requirement where I want to develop the web applications. Now, if I have skills which is already present for my organization, I will not incur an extra cost where I have to bring in other resources. Purely it is a client dependent requirement. Okay, for example, let's say we had a requirement of having the application developed with a RESTful application programming. We had a resource of ABAP. So what we can do is we can just polish them and bring all this in space. Unnecessarily, if it is having a cost, okay, cost of development, cost of setup, if all these things are coming in picture, we have to consider what is available. And it also depends on to the environment, where we have to exactly consider what is available for us. For example, I am on to the feature set A. Okay, so one more thing is you have two types of features when you sign up with your business BTP. Okay, For example, let's say TCS as an organization is signing up with SAP to use a business technology platform. Now, when TCS is procuring that, or TCS is having that contract, depending on to the skill which is available already with TCS will opt for whether they want to go with either your feature set A or feature set B. Now, feature set A represents your Neo, or it represents your Cloud Foundry run times. Okay, it is purely onto the skills that is available and who is procuring, what is the reason for the procurement. At this level, I would say, we are just trying to explore, not we are not deep diving onto the contracts or some other things.
Yeah, so what is the recommended environment for a project from a project point of view, business point of view?
From a business point of view, it is a recommended approach to go with the open source platform. It will help us with the cloud extensions. Let's say, okay, let's take a normal scenario. If TCS wants to open a new office in any other place, what is that they first look for? They look for a working space, right? Now, is it a good idea to invest a construction onto that area? See, I would say that, first of all, they would look on to your finances thing. The other thing is what is easier for them. A plug and play systems are easier to use instead of creating your own. Similarly, what we have is a BTP is providing you the extensions, which are nothing but already onto the top of your SAP. So instead of building from a scratch, or let's say instead of reinventing a wheel, I would use what is available for me. So it is a recommended approach to go with the Cloud Foundry.
Okay, got it. So BTP environment is a client specific tool that needs to be installed on the particular machine.
Can you repeat that statement, Naveen, please?
BTP environment is a client specific tool that needs to be installed on a particular machine.
First of all, BTP is not a client environment, is a platform.
Yes.
Okay.
Out of that, we have an environment, right? BTP environment that needs to be installed.
Inside the BTP, you have different types of environments.
Yes. So for accessing that BTP environment, we need to install some tool in a machine. That's what you were telling earlier.
No, Naveen, so basically, if you would like to access the BTP, right? So we need to either we can have the trial account or we can have the official account by which we can subscribe with the SAP itself, which we can procure with SAP. Okay, and the BTP platform, right? We will get it, and whatever the services we need it based on our client requirement. Okay, we can take it. I'll give you example here. Okay, let's say you are working with the Mercedes client, okay, with the TCS. Okay, so from TCS you are working for Mercedes client. So in that case, what will happen? The Mercedes will procure SAP accounts for the business scenario, and they will give you access, means that they will give you the access to the BTP account of Mercedes to the TCS partner people, which you guys are, right? So they will procure account, they will give you the access. So BTP platform will be enabled already. Okay, now how we need to choose the environment. So there are currently, if we need to go with the ABAP, it is pretty clear we are going with the ABAP only. Okay, but if we go with the open source like Cloud Foundry or Kyma, right? So based on the decision of the Mercedes, right? If they're using everything latest, probably it makes sense to go with the Kyma. Otherwise, I know we can go ahead with the Cloud Foundry environment. So far, I haven't seen, okay, maybe I have been working in B2B space for a long time, but I have not seen any customer using, Kyma. Maybe not in my knowledge of it. Okay, that is how I can put it. I have not done any implementation. Most of the people are going.
Correct.
Yeah.
So based upon the requirement, business requirement, we can choose either BTP, Kyma, or a Cloud Foundry environment. Correct.
Yeah, BTP is not an environment. Yeah, so Cloud Foundry and Kyma is the environment which we need to go based on the requirement, Naveen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Larry seems to on standby. Larry?
Yes. So when I try to give the target of Cloud Foundry trial account, it is not. It is showing like no accounts found or something. It is.
Can you
not
just show me your? Can you just please start presenting your screen?
Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
So I'm taking account name.
Okay.
And if I paste it here, it is showing like no matching options.
Okay, can you just try signing out once? 1 minute, Larry. Can you just validate whether are you on to the same login? See, here it says CF US 10. Can you switch back to your trial sub account? Here it is says US 10-001 as an instance.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just go to your business application studio, please? Log out over here.
Sign out.
Yeah, just sign out. Okay. Change the URL over here.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Just add -001. And try to use the SSO.
Okay. Now I have to give space.
It will come automatically. There is a drop down which is available.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Just give me a second. I'm trying to use any other space.
सीट नंबर तो होगी ना कॉन्फ्रेंस तो सारे उधर है मुझे एक बार गार्ड से पूछ लो सही बता देगा ऐसे याद मुझे मालूम इधर है भी नोएडा 2 उधर पीछे भी है काफी है भी पीछे तक तो
Guys, can you please go on mute?
Chintan, you're there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you please take over for the Kyma? I'll just look into what is the issue with the space.
Yeah, sure. That should be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, let me know once you can see my screen of the PPT, right?
It's visible.
Okay, good. Fine. So guys, what is schema? Guys, we already discussed. What is schema?
It's one of the environment
It's a
available on
runtime
BTP.
environment.
Okay. And why do we need that?
As per the business requirement, because we also have in Kyma we can also deploy open source apps.
Okay.
It enables microservices.
That is true. Okay. And
we can also
yeah,
deploy our containers with nodes like a Kubernetes.
It is like extending application with the microservices kind of things.
yes, that is true. Okay. So as rightly pointed out, it works on the framework of the Kubernetes, and Kubernetes created by
It's by Google in
Yes.
Go language.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Fine. So, and we also have the container concepts inside the Cloud Foundry also, right? And even Kubernetes also working on the, Kubernetes and even Kyma are the open source, and that also works on the container concepts. Okay. So what was the issue, right, in Cloud Foundry which we need to address so that the Kyma has been SAP is focusing more on what kind of uh, issues it is trying to resolve, which was there inside the Cloud Foundry. Can anybody just try to provide some answers here? Okay, fine. So let's take an example. Okay, so if we have very large application, okay, and if we need to break applications from the UI side of it, from the service layer side of it, and from the DB side of it, right? And if we need to deploy that application into multiple species, when I say pieces means breaking up the application layer into multiple, breaking up the services layer into multiple things. Along with that, even the DB components, okay, whatever we are going to create, that we need to also we can break up till the possible extent, right? And each part of it we can deploy as a service, okay, and that service we can have each service can have a different life cycle of that container. Okay, so when you are going to deploy that service, okay, it will be a container. Okay, and each small component which we can try to leverage, okay, and which we can manage of entire life cycle. Okay, if we can upgrade it, we can have a different versioning of it. Okay, we can do everything. But when we talk about the Cloud Foundry, that level of detailing or breakup is not possible. Yes, okay, what we can do, we can have a different part application DB, and we can deploy the entire piece together inside the Cloud Foundry side of it. Okay, and the entire piece will contain as a once life cycle of the container. Okay, so that will be one part of it. Guys, I will take a pause here and maybe let me know if you have any queries here. Okay, fine. And as this is an environment, right? Kyma is an environment. We have studied the environment generalized part. Okay, let's start with that. It's part of the BTP environment, and okay. So Kyma is an open source project built on the top of Kubernetes, which comprised of collection of projects, right? Collections of projects united together to simplify the extensions. Why they call it the extensions? Okay, because each of the microservices, the containers, okay, can talk to each other. And even if we need to leverage one component of one project inside the another component of another project, that is possible. Okay, so extensions, integrations with the monolithic softwares. Okay, and all the investigations, learning, and frustration of the projects to use and how to integrate them together. Okay, so in a cloud foundry, that is not going to happen because both the containers are different. Okay, and you cannot split it out, but that is possible with the cloud found with the Kyma environment. Okay, and so why the ongoing maintenance and the improvements? Because each component has its own life cycle, right? So that is the reason, maintenance and improvement would be much more better, and providing the opportunity to quickly connect and extend the applications. Why quickly connect? Because you already have a controllers different deployed and the various features. Okay, so and which we can try to leverage inside some other project also. Okay, the project started with the SAP and with the joint effort with the Google also, and this is what we have it. Okay, this has been taken from the blogs. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the Kyma environment provides a fully managed the Kubernetes runtime based on the open source project Kyma. Kubernetes, similar to the Cloud Foundry, is the open source platform managing the application's lifecycle. In contrast to CF, it has a much larger focus on the container orchestration. Guys, can you please let me know what is orchestrations? Guys, anybody? Orchestration. I think we have somebody from the PIPO team also, CPI team. Okay, so basically entire governance of the container. Okay, starting from lifecycle, versioning, maintenance, everything, the lifecycle of it, right? That we can deploy it, and we can also create the pipeline also. Okay, so entire stuff, it's called container orchestration, the governance part of it. Okay, and the scalability also. Okay, so if, let's say you already have one small microservice or container, you already deployed it, right, which you would like to leverage with the another maybe project, right? In that case, you can try to use as it is. If you want to modify it, you can try to copy and you can extend it too. Okay, so that is also possible. Kyma allows the developers to extend the SAP solutions with the serverless functions and combine them with the containerized microservices. You can also use the Kyma environment to deploy the microservices or even the build full stack application, right? So this we are clear with that. Here Kyma will not be available free of cost, right? So we are not going to have deep dive further our hands-on for the Kyma part of it. We are going to give you the development tutorials, which okay, and we can focus on this part. Okay. This we already discussed of it, right? The global account, it contains the entitlement billing information. We have directory. We can have the directory. We cannot have the directory. Directory is not a mandatory. Okay, we can have sub accounts, environment, and quotas and entitlements are done. This is how the regions admins license cycle. Here we can add the admins and region access. What we need to give it. This is general domain, right? We already discussed this couple of times. This is about the step-by-step procedures what we have for the Kyma, right? How we can set it up. We need to give assignment of it, and we also need some kind of software installations as part of the Kyma environment, because we also it is based on the Kubernetes, so the software requirement is there. So as this is the infrastructure side of it, formation, we are not deep diving it further. Global sub account Kyma environment we need to configure, and we can post so that we can develop it. Okay, and it will be for both for trial and environment. Okay. Why okay, see, okay, this is a use case of it, right? So if we have any kind of cloud solutions, okay, if we can have the S4 HANA cloud, okay, it perfectly makes sense to go ahead with the Kyma environment, because these are kind of restrictive environment, because we cannot do much development, much development, and the extension within the system of it. Okay, so in this case, what we can do, we can try to leverage the Kyma. However, I'm not saying CF cannot be leveraged. Okay, CF can also be leveraged, but Kyma is a preferable approach. Okay. These are another examples. These all are the cloud offerings by the SAP and which we can try to leverage. Okay. Even SAP, sorry, Kyma is the open source one, right? So here also you can bring your own language, and we can try to create, our own applications in our language, and we can try to deploy it, and that will work. Okay. There are some limitations with the versionings as well. Okay. Okay, so this is a Kyma will come with its own dashboard. Okay, and it has own command line tools. It's called CTL, right? Command line tool, and yeah, so this is what we have it. Okay, it's called Kyma platform for extending the applications with the microservices, serverless functions. Again, the same thing, CLI and UI through the which we can connect with your applications to the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so basically, when you create the applications, right, this is completely technical part of it, right, and user will not get any kind of feel that it is working on Cloud Foundry or Kyma. It is just about how would you like to maintain your components inside the Cloud Foundry or Kyma environment, and that's all. Okay, so for user there is no change. For even our functional there is no change. The people are working in a functional space, and only the way we deploy our application to the environment, right? Only that portion is going to change. Guys, are we clear on this part? Okay, I'll take it as a yes. Okay, and then you can
Yes.
implement the, yeah. Okay, thank you. Right, so as only the deployment of the application, okay, the way we are going to deploy our UI component, our service layer, okay, app component, service layer, and the DB component, only that is going to be changed. Okay, apart from that there is no change. And so you can implement the business logic you require by creating the microservices and serverless functions, right? That is the advantage of having this one. If you would like to go ahead with the normal way, you can still go ahead with the Cloud Foundry as well, and even that works on the container concepts, and trigger them to react the particular events and call to your application's API. Okay, and Kyma address the needs related to microservices architecture, right? Event consumptions, authentications, logging, tracing, monitoring, and alerting of each of the components, right? And the service catalog allows you to easily consume of cloud services available by hyperscalers, right? So we can also connect with the hyperscalers and we can take it forward. Okay, so this is a bit about the Kubernetes installations, the command line tool installations we have it. This is about how we can create the instance of it. Okay, we'll post to the blogs. Okay, for this one, and here we do have the SAP Event Mesh. What is the SAP Event Mesh, guys? Nobody? Yes, this is a normal term, right? Event Mesh is not related to with the Kyma. It is a general service available.
But no idea.
Okay, so if there is some event has been happening, right? Maybe logically or somewhere, something has been threshold has been reached. Okay, logically. Okay, in that case, we can create the event and we can take it forward, right? So that will work in a various forms. Okay, maybe I'll give you one of the examples, right? Whenever let's say we have a container, right? Uh, we have a truck, okay, container, okay, and in that the temperature has been crossing maybe 10 degrees plus, okay, and like let's say or 5 degrees plus, okay, and we have ice cream as a inside the container. Okay, so if it is going to increase the temperature, ice cream is going to melt, right? So if whenever the threshold is within the limit, okay, it is fine. But otherwise, we need to create some kind of triggering event so that respective people will come to know that something has been filled inside the container and the temperature has been increasing, right? So this is just event mesh, right? So based on uh, certain logic, right, we can create the event and we can notify something. We can also trigger the actions inside the SAP systems also, and we can notify also. This is in general, okay. This is in general, yeah. Okay, Kyma eventing, okay. And here okay, I said about something about the event mesh in general, but even within the Kyma, they are using the SAP event mesh heavily. Okay. Okay, so this is a console, right? If something has not been failed, right? Troubleshooting part of it. Okay, how we can deploy our SAP UFI front-end applications to the Kyma environment, and we need to select the right environment, the right component, the prerequisite has to be met, and then we can, moving from on-premise era to the cloud, and we can also deploy our applications to the Kyma. Okay, the prerequisite. Okay, I'll post the links. Okay, in some time. Okay, and the same thing will go to the SAP Wi-Fi as well. Okay. And Git, Node.js, UFI tooling, everything is available inside the BAS. Okay. Docker installations, that is a separate, that is required for the Kyma. Apart from that, we can also have the Kubernetes command line tools, which we can download and install, and deploying to MS SQL API endpoints. Okay, so this is our prerequisites of it. Complete prerequisite. These three are common for the these two are common for the CF as well. Okay, this is in general steps what we have. Okay, I'm not going to detail of it one because we need to, it's about enabling the plan of it, assignment of the roles, and Kyma part of it. Okay, everything talks about that one, and the connectivity we can do it. The metrics and logs. Kyma comes with its own dashboard, right? So we can check, we can go to that dashboard, we can check the metrics and logs, and we can have the environment backup also. Okay. This is again the same thing, marketplace, we can get it. So guys, are we clear? Why do we need a Kyma environment? Okay. I mean, are you ready with the CF part of it?
Yes, Chintan, just give me a second, please.
Yeah, sure. You can share your screen. Guys, sorry for a delay. We tried today couple of CF. One of them is working. Now finally we got some accounts which is working. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if it is visible. Now it is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Now, whenever your Cloud Foundry is logged in, okay, you'll be getting this a user, organization, and a space. Okay. Now, what does this space represent? A space will be having it's a kind of a workspace, okay, where your applications will be deployed and your application run times build or the dependencies will be available, but it will be available into the modularized format. Now for today's exercise, what we have is a 12-factor methodology. Okay, now because the Cloud Foundry is a kind of a cloud native environment. Okay, now when I say it's a cloud native environment, a cloud native environment is aligned with a 12-factor methodology. Okay, there are some of the factors, even there are some of the do's and don'ts which we have to keep in consideration to make our application available. Okay, so the first thing is a code base. Okay, Now, whenever you see that I talk about a code base, it is directly referring to your Git environment. Okay. Now, when I'm saying a Git environment, what is a Git basically? Because we have discussed a one-liner about it. So what is a Git?
Version management.
What is a Git?
Version management. It is used
For storing the code repository in a public,
It's a
private,
repository
or
that is
hybrid model.
Okay, let's say it is a single source of truth when I'm developing an application. Okay, because see, even if I am developing an application, it is a continuous process. Okay, it's not like once I have developed and it will there are no changes that are going to come in future. It's never like that. Okay, whenever you are doing any kind of a application, it is always a continuous integration and a continuous development. Okay, when I refer to the continuous integration, it could refer to the push, it could refer to the build or any other operation. When I refer to the continuous delivery, it is a development, a delivery object, or let's say a application which has been delivered without breaking the existing features of it. Okay, so that is one of the main factor which you should consider even while you are developing your applications. Is your application's code base is a single source of truth where all the changes, all the application details have been mentioned, because multiple application developers, multiple teams would be working on to that. So whenever you make a exit or whenever you make any kind of a commits or any other thing, make sure it is aligned. Okay, always your system or your code base is updated. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a application which is available already, which demonstrate a application. Okay, for me, what is this application? It is somewhere available, the code base is available into a repository. Okay, it's a kind of a public repository which is available, so I'm going to use that source. I hope you follow along with me so that if you have any issues, we will be able to solve it at that instant only. Okay, now what is this? I am cloning a code base from a repository which I consider that it is a code base. Okay, the first one. The second option that I have to do is I have to push this application. Okay, now whenever I push this application, what my Cloud Foundry will do, it will try to find out what are the packages that are available, what are the runtimes that are available. Okay, so the other thing that I can do it with the Cloud Foundry is I can find out how many runtimes are available, how many build packs are available. Okay, so what I can do is I can find out the same using the marketplace command. Okay, now when I'm saying a marketplace, okay, it's a kind of a discovery center, okay, for Cloud Foundry runtime, where what are the services that are available, what are the runtimes that are available, that will be displayed over here. The other difference is your Cloud Foundry marketplace and the one that you have into your account, right? 1 minute. I'll log in into this service marketplace and the Cloud Foundry marketplace are different things. Okay, this is availing you with the services that are available under your BTP. It is availing you with the applications or the runtimes that are available for your environments. Okay, the service offerings can also be found out using this command. Now, if you want to go in more detail about the Cloud Foundry, what you can do is the command help. Okay, so you can use the CF help also. Sorry. whether I want to find out the space or whether I want to create a space. Now when I'm trying to create a space, if I say just cf create hyphen space, it will not work. Okay, now what I have to provide? I have to provide a organization under which I would be using it. Okay, so let's say I am creating a CF space over here. Let's say it as a QA. Okay, it's a quality space that I am creating. Now here I want to say that I am creating under my organization. So where is my organization listed? My organization would be listed when I logged in for the first time over here, right? It will be able to create the space. Okay, just now what it is telling, it is creating a space. Okay, now if I want to list out how many spaces are available for me, so I can even list out. Now I have created a space in this particular organization, so how many spaces should be listed? How many spaces should be available for me? How many spaces should be?
Darren QA2.
2 spaces should be available. Now when I try to push this application, okay, when I try to push this application, it will ask me which space I want to deploy. So whenever I am trying to deploy the application, I have to first set, okay, I have to first set the organization. Okay, so what is my organization? This is the organization that I am working. Okay, so I will set the target. Okay, so let's set the target. Now what is the target for me? This is the target organization, and inside this target organization I would be deploying the application. Just a second. Everyone is able to use this repository. Have you tried cloning this repository?
Can you paste the URL in the chat if possible?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Thank you.
Everyone try to clone this repository.
Can you paste the steps also? There is a screenshot only.
No, that's not the screenshot. That's exactly the command. It says git clone.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
After we close the GitHub repository, so what action will be performed in the project space?
Into the project space, you would be getting a repository which says 12 dogs app. Basically, you should be able to see a structure like this.
Correct. Yeah, that we can see. Yeah.
Everyone is onto the same page.
Guys, please raise your hand who has completed it. Okay, we'll wait. Only one person. How about others?
Yeah, I'm done with the cloning part. What is the next command? Should it be create space or something else?
We don't have to create space because as of now we are working with one space only. We already have dev space, right?
Dev space, yes.
It was just to show you how you can create a space using a
Okay.
command line as well.
Okay. So git clone, I am done. But where should I see it? Whether it's cloned?
You should be able to see it into the explorer of a projects. You are aware of like how to navigate onto that path, right?
No, can you show? Should I share my screen?
Yes, please. That will help. I'll stop sharing. Can you just go to the explorer? You're right now onto the Cloud Foundry palette, right? We want to go onto the explorer. So can you just switch on to the second palette, which is already available? Onto your left side, you're onto the Cloud Foundry one. We don't need as of now.
You can expand the application and drop down.
This will list out all the things related to the Cloud Foundry, Vishal. Onto your left, you have an explorer below that.
Yeah, explorer. The project.
Right? You already have a clone repository.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what you can do is open this application directly onto the terminal. So right click onto your project. The BTP 12 docs app is there, right? Right click onto that project name itself. Not there. The application name.
Project one?
Above that. See, many a times what will happen is if you're creating multiple Fiori applications, you will be able to see the same kind of a structure. So I would say, in case you're not using anything, just collapse that. Okay, see, project one you're not using at this moment, right? So collapse that. And the one which you're using, just open that into the terminal. Right click onto that. And open into integrated terminal. The third option.
Yeah. It open up here.
Yeah, it will just directly open your application terminal. Is everyone done with the cloning, and can they open that application onto the same terminal? Please raise your hand in case if you are done with the cloning of the application.
Can you share your screen again actually?
Yeah, I'll do that. Let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Only 5 people?
I'm not able to see your screen where you written all the command actually that.
Okay, I think while I was closing of the bash, that was closed off. What is the command that you're looking for, Brajesh? I'll help you with that.
Actually, I was trying to clone actually, so for that.
It is still there into the chat window if you try to open it. Or maybe you can do one thing. You just share your screen. I'll be able to help you out with that.
Yeah. Yes, I am here actually now. So.
Okay, so you are just typing the URL. Okay, we have to perform an operation of cloning.
Okay.
Can you just close that project from a template? Anything which is not required, you can just close it off.
Yeah.
See, the terminal also you close it.
Okay.
Close that one. Just drag it a little bit above. Okay. Now here just type in git clone.
Space.
It's not git, it's git, G-I-T, space, space, clone, and the URL which you have copied earlier, right? Space. Yeah. Enter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we move on to the next?
Okay.
Okay, I just assume that everyone is in place. If it is
So
not
is
there,
it,
please let us
I
know.
mean, is it done for me, right?
Yeah, it's done for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'll stop.
Okay, now I'm going with the next step. Okay, now whenever I try to open an application, what I have to do is I will be pushing all my applications into a particular space. Okay, because I have I will first set the target because I have two spaces, right? Now in the under this target, I have to mention -O, the organization name for me. Okay, so if I'm not able to find the organization name, I can go to my trial account and find the one for me. This is the organization name for me. So I'll go to the Business Application Studio, put my organization name, -S, and the space that I want to deploy the application. For me, I'll be deploying it into the dev space. Now my organization has been set. Now I want to deploy the application. The first thing is either I can change the directory using the CD and the path, or I can go to this and open it into the integrated terminal. Okay, I would just say it as a CF push -- random route. Okay, now why I'm doing a random route? Because I am not decided whether I want to create a specific URL for my application. Okay, now whenever you deploy your application, it will generate a random route for you. Everyone will have a different route. Okay, now as of now, if I go to my dev space, okay, how many dev spaces are listed? I have two dev spaces, and inside the dev spaces, what I will have the applications, services, HANA Cloud Instance routes. Okay, now if you look at the routes, it is all blank. The moment I do the CF push random route, it will start pushing the application without asking me what is the package that it is working for. Okay, it is taking a Node.js Cloud Foundry build package for me. Okay, it is not asking me any kind of a runtime. So now what does the Cloud Foundry does? Cloud Foundry says, irrespective of the application that you are deploying, I'll take care of the packaging, I'll take care of the dependencies that are available. Okay, let the process complete.
Can you paste the command in the chat box?
Yes, I'll do that. You have to navigate to your application, okay, because you're pushing your applications. What it is doing, it is saying waiting for app. Okay, so this is the name of my app that is waiting to run, but it is saying instance starting. Okay, once it is running, then only we can see what is the application that is available. Okay, as soon as your application is deployed or it is pushed, basically what is happening, it is being deployed. Now what is it doing? It will tell me what is the build pack, what is the version, what is the detected application type. It says that is the application type. Along with that, what it gave me a route. Okay, it gave me a route for the application. Here what it is doing, I will just copy this. Okay, and I'll try to open it into the new window. Here what it is showing, it is showing that it is a app which is available, but what it is based on, it is based onto the vcap services. If you're working, see, because I'm working onto the node.js, okay, it is based onto the vcap services. If I am working onto the java environment, it would be a spring services. Now what are these services? These services are nothing but your microservice architecture, which will give you the modularization. Okay, which will give you the containerization as well. Now when I had deployed my application, okay, when I deployed my application under my application routes, okay, let me show you that. There is a application which is available for me. Okay, it will, the route will tell you the host name, it will tell you the path, it will tell you the domain. Okay, now when I'm saying a domain, it is being deployed onto the cloud foundry space. The application name is displayed over here, but how many instances are running? Instances are referring to the containers, it is referring to the application where it is being consumed. For example, if you are using a net banking account, right? So how many instances are running? There are a lot of instances are running, but how many out of them are active? Only the users who have already logged into that application would be active. Now in case if I want to see where is my application, so I can go to the application. But all of this, okay, all of this, where it is available, it is available into the development space. Okay, now I'll go to the applications. Okay, now the application is into the running state. If you click onto here, you'll be able to see that what is the root. This is also the root of the application. If I want to start, stop, all of the applications can be done over here. Now if I want to see, okay, let's say if I want to see the logging, okay, the logs, if I want to see what are the logs that are available for my application, so for my application level, logs are available. Now what is the usage of the logs? Logs are basically available to identify whether if any resource is failing, or if any of the resources, or let's say any of the dependencies are available or not. Okay, so that is the case and the usage of your logs. So out of this, we have just covered up this code base, and then we just covered up this logs. Okay, till here everyone is able to follow
that code, right?
Yeah, give a space and then paste that URL.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
That is the right.
Yeah.
It is done, right?
Yeah, now what you have to do is open your application and use an integrated terminal to log in. Not that one, you are using wrong application. Just do escape, go to the first application. Your application would be basically listed alphabetically, right? So you have to use the first one.
I can't understand. That project I have cloned.
You have cloned that project.
Yes.
Nilanjan, you have to use that application to deploy, right? So BTP
Yes.
12 Docs app, which is available over here at the first, open that application into the integrated terminal.
Okay. That is
Set your space. Set your space. First, you have to tell what is the space that you want to deploy your application to, right? So use that command.
Which command?
Just write it as CF target.
Right.
Space. -O. Give space. Copy your dev's organization name from your trial account into your inverted quotes.
This target command is only used whenever we have a multiple development space, right? Or it is required at every point.
In generic also, it is better to, avoid the clash of spaces.
Okay.
Yamini, can you guide me?
Just give me a moment. I'm just typing a generic one. Okay.
Okay. But I can't see the message at all.
No, I am yet to type. Just give me a second. I think Nilanjan, you still have to get a help from the teammate.
This CF target step needs to be done before the CF push command or after the CF push command?
It's before, because you are telling the system which space you are supposed to use.
Correct. So Nilanjan, you can go to that sub account window, and from there you can copy the organization and paste it in place of org name.
Nilanjan, maybe you can share your screen. We will help you out with that.
Sure. Here.
You have to take the name of your organization, which you will be able to find it under the sub account level.
Open a new window. Yeah, new window is there, right? No, trial window. First step. See, org
Here you
name
have
is
the
there, right?
org name, organization name.
Below the endpoint.
Here, na?
No. Below.
In
API
the Cloud
endpoint
Foundry environment.
Okay. Organization, right?
Yeah, copy that org name as well as the dev space. Just replace with the org name and space name and enter it in your terminal. With a double.
I have to first paste the organization name.
Yeah, and then space, then -S.
Space hyphen S.
Then space DEV. That is a space name. Yeah, enter.
Can you please use it in inverted quotes? Let's try with this.
API person endpoint. It is.
Yeah, it is now mapped, right? Yeah, it is now mapped. Now you can do a push command. CF push, CF space push, the space double dash, random dash root.
Actually, your voice is breaking.
I am giving in chat command. That I am giving in chat.
Okay. Sure. Oh, random route. Okay.
Thanks, Aditya. That's it, right?
Yeah, just try to do it. Okay. It is now pushing
this,
your application.
Yeah, so this link that will be generated after we deploy this project can be visible outside the space of the CF login, or we can also use this URL as, in our mobile.
You can give it a try.
Okay.
Or maybe you can share your random route which is generated, but for everyone it would be unique. Okay, it would be different.
See, I'm sharing mine, so if you can check if you can access from my URL maybe.
Yes, may I share my screen? I have a minor question.
Yeah, please.
Thanks, Amni, and thanks everyone for helping. Thank you.
Anurag, your voice is breaking.
It is created over here. It is showing it is running and all this created over here.
Okay. So do you want to
It is created over here. It is showing it is running and all this created over here.
Okay. So do you want to access this application?
Yes, this one you are saying it is created already over here. But how you show the where we check the space is created or not?
Okay, so whenever your application is deployed successfully and is into the running state, you will be able to find it under your dev spaces.
Again, I have to log in.
Yes, if it is not able to show your users, then you have to.
Yes, okay. I will continue later on. You can continue right now. When I get a
Yeah.
connection, should be able.
But in okay, let me share my screen. I'll just show you where you will be able to connect it. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I think someone sent me a URL, right, which says that.
Yes.
Okay, so now if you look at it, your URL which is running is a different, right? And the one which I was running is a different. These are two different routes which are generated. Because I have not defined any kind of a security in my application, as of now, it's not there. There are no restrictions for me as of now. Just a second. If anyone is having issues with the application, they can just let me know at this point. Okay, if your application has been deployed, if your application random route has been generated, we will move on to the next. Otherwise, if anyone is having issues, we'll check the systems and then we'll move on to the next one. If you are done and all set, please raise your hands.
I'm reloaded. May I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Anurag.
Yeah, please. please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm over here, which I have deployed from where I have to check.
Okay. So can you just go on to the Cloud Foundry?
Portfolio.
The Cloud Foundry one. Onto your sub account overview, you have a Cloud Foundry. You can even either go from here. Yeah, you can go to the spaces.
Actually, क्या है कि हमने think
Click onto the dev space. Under your dev spaces, what you'll be able to find is, you'll be able to find your application, the routes. Okay.
Yeah,
so click
sure. Oh.
Okay. Now here the application route will be visible. Let's say that, if you are if you have already deployed an application onto your launchpad, if you want to have, or let's say you want to get a individual URL, what you do is you click onto a single tile, right? So your URL changes. That is basically redirecting you to your single application. Here also we have just deployed one application and we are trying to access only one application at a time. So you can directly access it via route. Okay.
Okay. There is one more question over here. A
Yes.
copy paste is not working over here. If I go for a paste, Control V like this, for example, Control V, it is showing this message.
It should work because. Can you try copying something else and then just try to use a right click?
I'm saying right over here, Control C, and if you want to Control V, it is showing this message.
Okay. Why is that you want to do a try copying something else and then just try to use a right click?
I'm saying right over here, Control C, and if you want to Control V, it is showing this message.
Okay. Why is that you want to do a copy paste?
Yeah, from anything, if I copy paste, I have to type everything instead of copy paste. Okay, we can take it later on. Maybe there is some options, settings in a settings we require some changes, maybe.
Maybe instead of Control V, try right clicking. Hit paste if you have copied.
Right click is also not working. The same message is coming.
Okay. So may I know which browser you are using?
For me, is it the question?
No. To whom when right click is not working?
I think it is Anurag.
Anurag, right? Anurag, which browser you are using?
Yeah, I'm using the default browser of TCS.
Okay,
that is Edge.
Edge. Okay.
Maybe it will work on Chrome.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly. I was about to say. Just try with the Chrome first.
Yeah. Tomorrow I will try with the Chrome. Right now,
or maybe during break you can switch.
Yeah, sure. When I have a spare time, I will check and let you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks for support.
Sure.
Okay, now I just wanted to check how many applications are available into my space. Okay, so what I can do is I can just ask CF apps. Okay, so the name of the app, the status, the process, and the routes will be also displayed over here. Now, in case I want to add some of the dependencies, okay, so what I can do is I can add those dependencies using the set environment variable. Okay, so how do I set the environment? I have to use the command cf set -env environment. What is the environment that I want to set and to which application I want to set? So I'm just saying I want to set some environment to the application. Let's say my name of the application is 12 logs. Okay, so cf set environment, set the environment 12 logs with the name as dog_breed. Okay, the name of the breed is setter. Okay, now what it will do, now my application is set with some kind of a variable. Environment variable could refer to any of the dependencies which you want to add in. Let's say I want to add another category to it. Okay, now whenever there is a change of your application or there is a change of the environment variable, it is advisable to restage your application or restart your application. You can start or stop your applications from here also. Okay, so either you go with your spaces. Even this could lead to the downtime. Okay, it will take some time for us to restage. Okay, now let's say I am restaging my application. Okay, the moment I restage my application, what will happen is if I try to refresh this URL, okay, because it is already running, it is not causing anything, but the moment it is tracing out the logs, and if I try to refresh, it will not launch my URL. I think it is still running. Before the building of your application, it will cause some downtime. Basically, it will take some time to have an upgrade of the environment variables which you have set into that particular application. Here it is saying instance starting. If I try to do that, here you see it is saying that the requested route does not exist. Even though the application has been deployed, it is into the starting stage, it is not into the running stage. Until and unless your application is into the running stage, it will not be able to fetch the routes that you are trying to use for that application. Okay, now the application is into the running stage. I want to see. Okay, now earlier there was no display of the applications. Now basically the dog breeds, you see the environment configuration has been set. Okay, now the dog breed is setter and the sub dog breed, but even though this is set, how many instances are running? Only one instance of my application is running. If you try to do the next, you'll be able to see the dogs. Now I want you to try the same with your applications. Try to set this environment variables and then try to reload your application when you are into the running stage or when you are into your Can you please try that commands onto your side? I see some of the hands are raised. Larry, do you have any questions? Everyone got the command?
Guys, are we following this one? Are you able to understand?
What is the use of that CF set environment command?
It's basically kind of adding some kind of a dependencies. Let's say today I have created an application. Okay. Now in my application, I want to integrate a Google Map. So what is a Google Map? It is a kind of a dependency which I will have for the Google API. If that Google API needs to be integrated, I have to set that environment for my application. So that is setting the environment, enabling your existing application with some of the add-on features is a set environment.
Yeah, so in this case, which environment are you trying to set? Because after setup, there is no nothing mentioned.
What is that?
So in this case, you're trying to set some, as we told that you're setting the existing application with the additional environment. So after the setter command, there is nothing mentioned. So what specific dependencies are you trying to load with this command?
Can you just tell me where is that you are referring to?
CF set -env, then your application name, then space setter that you have mentioned earlier in the chat.
This one?
Setter one. No, earlier one. The earlier command that is you have pinned in the chat, huh?
This is a dog breed, right?
Yeah, dog breed setter. Yeah, this one.
Okay, basically I am trying to load the. A minute. I think you have a package over here. Here if you see, I have some of the dependencies. Okay, I am defining the dependencies over here. These dependencies were there, but if you want to see where is my application being loaded, so what you can do is you have one YAML file over here. Here if you see, I have a JS file and I have a doc.js file. Now my base URL, see, when I initially set the environment, I was telling you I am referring to the CF services, sorry, the VCAP services. Now whenever my application is being created, I have to tell that what kind of an environment it is referring to. Okay, I am saying that I am using a Node.js package, and what kind of a service it is using. It is using a VCAP service. Now when I am using a VCAP service, I have to tell what is the dependency that is available. Okay, so here is where I am setting this environment variable over here. See, if I look at the process building, right, what I had done, I have already had a code base. I am trying to load the dependencies also, explicit dependencies, because I am trying to fetch the data which is there. It is from this particular application. 1 minute. From the base URL, this is there. From this base URL, I have written a command which says I have to get the data. Initially, if you look at the variable, okay, I am trying to fetch this. Okay, here, okay, let's say if I am getting this. Initially, when I loaded my application, there were no pictures which were getting displayed. Were you able to display the pictures initially?
No.
No, right? Now what I am doing, I am requesting. Okay, basically when I'm setting the environment, I am telling the base URL that this is the base URL, but which breed it should fetch, it should process. Okay, it should process the breed and subbreed using the titles. Let's say English and this breeder. Okay, this is available under this URL. Okay, let me open this. Okay, this is basically a API that I am pointing out to. Okay, now whenever I try to get this, it is referring to the breeds. Okay, now if I try to fetch in, what is the operation that I am performing? I am performing the get operation over here, right? You see this get operation. When I am setting, or when I am just explicitly mentioning that I want to get a breed which is referring to, just a second, here I am explicitly setting that get me the breed which is a setter, okay, or get me the subbreed which is English. If it is present, then your application is able to load the images, right?
Correct.
So
basically,
setting the environment. Basically,
yeah.
I'm performing a get operation.
Yeah, so basically you are trying to load the resource from the third party URL using the setter method.
Yes. Basically a get method, that is what I am doing. And how is it fetching? It is fetching from your response of the get configuration. Here you see setting the configuration over here.
Yes. So all these things are basically Node.js syntax, right? All these things that are written in the doc.js file.
It is basically a sample application. Okay, this is just to make you aware of
what are the Node.js.
It's a Node.js.
Okay.
But do we need to restage for those images to appear, or we don't need?
You don't need to restage, but it is a good practice to restage your application whenever you're loading something new.
Yeah.
Basically, a restage is nothing but a kind of refresh that you are giving for your application.
Yeah, correct.
Anurag, you have question?
Vishal?
No.
I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, earlier it was raised.
In this application, if you look at it, okay, which is running, but here if I want to add this database to this database doc collection, I will not be able to do so, okay, because there is no database instance available to this. Okay, for example, if I want to create a record that even though the table exists, if I am not giving any kind of a data, or if there is no database that exists, then I'll not be able to store that data. So basically, for creating a persistence layer or a database instance, what I have to do is I have to check if there is any kind of service which is available for storing this data. Okay, I want to check if there is any service available which can store the data for me. So how do I check if any service is available for me?
Discovery Center.
How is that I check?
Discovery Center.
Can you be a bit louder, please?
Discovery Center.
Discovery Center. Okay. So what is this Discovery Center available for? Is it for your business, or sorry, BTP, or is it for your Cloud Foundry?
Yeah, basically it's a BTP applications, right? Available there in Discovery Center.
It is available for BTP, right? But as of now, we are under which space? Are we doing it at the application level, or are we doing it at the BTP level?
Application level.
Application level.
Application.
Okay. If I want to check it onto the application level, what is the runtime that I'm using? I'm using a Cloud Foundry environment, right? Which is a basically runtime for me. So where should I check what are the services that are available for me?
Cloud Foundry.
Cloud Foundry, but where? Few minutes back we have discussed even the command.
Terminal.
Terminal is fine, but what is the command?
CF space marketplace maybe.
Yes. So CF marketplace. Okay. So here in my marketplace, I'll be able to find everything that will help me with the marketplaces. Basically, what kind of a services are available. See, here it is for a UI flexibility. So what is the service instance that I can use for? I can use it for a UI5 application. I have one as a trial. Okay. I have few other services. Let's say mobile services are there, build work zone standard services are there, SAS registry is there, HTML5 repository is there, enterprise messaging is there. These are the services that are available. Okay. Now for me, I want to see if there is anything that is available for me. Okay. So I'm aware of that there is a Postgres service. Okay. Now what is a Postgres service? Have you anytime heard of Postgres? Anytime?
No.
Okay. Basically, it's
Something to do with the database.
yes. Just like we have JDBC for Java applications, it's a kind of a open source that is available for your database. Okay. So that is freely available for us into your Cloud Foundry marketplace. So let's say I am taking the instance of just the Postgres. So what I'll do is I will check if in the marketplace, okay, if that service is available. It is not able to. Okay. Depending on to your Cloud Foundry version, you're supposed to use the S or you're supposed to use the E as a parameter. Okay. You'll be able to find a list of all those parameters if you go to your CF. There is a documentation which is available for the usage of the Cloud Foundry commands basically. Okay. So you'll be able to find it over here. Okay. If I want to check how to deploy the application using a Cloud Foundry, what are the build packs that are available, whether the Node.js build packs are available, what kind of a version that is available, okay, whether it is a VF6, 7 or 8, okay, you'll be also able to find that. Now I am having a plan. Okay. What is a plan? It's a trial. The service is the Postgres service, and what it is offering, it is offering a free service. Okay. And what is a broker? Basically a kind of a connection between this. If it is available, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create an instance. Okay. I want to first create an instance. Now, what is the instance? Instance is basically a copy that is available. Okay. You'll be able to find it under your okay. Now, as of now, you see that I have only one instance. Okay. Now, this instance is every time you deploy an application, or if you are having any additional component, it will be available. But as of now, there is no instance that is available for my Postgres. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to create a Postgres instance basically for adding the command, basically for storing the data. Here I'm using everything from an open source. So I want to use this Postgres, which is available for me. It is nothing but a SQL. So I can perform the create, read, update, delete, all this operation. When I want to say that add this, okay, add this log collection. So I want to add this over here. So let me do that. I am saying that I want to create a service instance. Okay, create hyphen service. Create a service instance for which service? I want to do it for a Postgres SQL. Okay, now when I do that, I want to say the name also for my trial environment, because that is the plan that is available for me. So the command goes like cf create service, the name of the service that you want to use, the plan that is available, and the instance name which you want to say. Let's say I'm using a dog db. Okay, that is the name that I want to give. Now what it is doing, it is creating the instance for me. Okay, now the moment it is creating, it will say the create is in progress. Okay, now if you go to your again over here, you will even be able to see the instance. Okay, the instance name is the name that I have created. What type of a service it will be consuming? It will be using the Postgres SQL, which is a hyperscaler option. What is the plan that is available? It's a trial. And under which environment it will be running? It would be running under the Cloud Foundry. And for which space it would be working on? It would be working on to the dev space. Now, till the time your status is not in running stage, you'll not be able to bind your application. Okay. Now, what is binding? Basically, binding is a process. Let's say I have a UI5 application. Okay. Now, in my UI5 application, I want to consume the data which is available onto some remote system. Even though I list out that data into a OData services into my manifest, unless I define it into the model section, I will not be able to consume it. Okay. So let's say that definition is happening over here into the instances, but until and unless it is available for the consumption or it is into the running stage, you will not be able to bind this. Okay. Now for this application, it has to be into the running state. Now if I want to see the status, okay, even I can use it under this, or just because I have specified the name, I'll check over here. Okay. The name of the service, what is the GUID, type of a service, the offering, the trial. Okay, the status. For me, the status is still in create in progress. Kindly follow. It will just take some time to put it into the running mode. Okay. Until and unless the status is in not in a running mode, we cannot bind that. Is everyone able to get the service Postgres into their application. See, even if there are certain offerings that are available, it will still be there will be certain limitations depending on to the organization level also. So I just want to make sure that everyone is onto the same page. Everyone is able to get that.
Yeah, can you show me the command, please, for the create?
Yes, I'll do that. Even I'll just put it in the chat window. Just give me a second.
The create command.
Yes, I'm putting it. First is you have to check if your marketplace it is available. There are two commands that are available. One is CF marketplace -e Postgres SQL -db. The other is a CF create.
Okay. Format showing as no service offering found.
Can you just share your screen, Vishal?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, same for me.
No service offerings found. Maybe.
Can you just type in that command CF marketplace -e?
Yeah. I have typed it.
Vishal, it is not .db, it's a -db.
Okay, sorry. Again, no service offering found.
Can you try it with S parameter, please?
Yeah. Dot or hyphen?
It's a hyphen.
Yeah. Now it's changed.
Yeah.
What is that command?
It's a Postgres SQL.
Yeah, that I have done, but now I want to create a service. So for that, okay. Postgres.
Anyone else facing the issue?
Yeah, I am facing the issue.
The planned trial could not be found. CF create service PostgreSQL -db. What is this trial?
Trial is basically the plan that is available for you.
That's not a dev space, right? My dev space is dev. Trial is my sub account.
Trial is the plan.
Okay, but then it says no service offering found.
Can you just list out what is available? Can you just run that command once again, please? Just use the up arrow key. One more time. No. Can you use below? Service. How is it? CF marketplace -e service Gres SQL.
Is this a right command or a wrong command?
It's a Postgres.
Okay, not service.
There are no spaces in between.
After E?
Okay, let me read out the command once again for you. It's a CF CREATE -SERVICE space POSTGRESQL-DB space trial TRIAL space dog -DB.
List available offering.
It should you should be able to create now. Can you just try to create it? Can you just scroll it above? I just want to see what is it you're typing.
How to create. I'll be using CF create service.
Just try copy that.
Yeah, copy.
1 minute. You're using CF market. Enter. What is your plan that you have?
Where do I see it?
You'll be able to see it under CF Marketplace -S Postgres SQL -DB. GRESQL-DB. Can you use S instead of E?
Yes, sorry, scroll up.
Scroll down. I mean, use that.
Should I use keyboard buttons?
Yes, use the instead of E over here. Can you slow down, please?
Yeah.
Use S. Use S.
Okay.
One minute. CF Market Service offering.
Yeah, CF Marketplace S. Incorrect usage of flag S.
Can you just close this console and try to clear everything? I think Jairam still has a question.
Allow me a couple of minutes.
Others are able to follow, or they are also facing the same issue? Please. Guys, anybody is able to follow, is able to complete it without any issue?
I mean, Rajesh here, actually, I'm not pretty sure I did correct or not, actually. So can I share my screen actually once?
I'm also issue. I'm also facing the same issue.
Okay, let me do one thing. I will keep my window open so that you know if there is anything that is going wrong. I would just say, okay, let's go with the first one. I just wanted to check what kind of a plan is available. Okay, so when I use this command CF Marketplace -E Postgres SQL DB, I got this things. Are you getting these things? Plan, the description, free or paid, or costing of your services?
Yes, I am able to get that free and this paid one actually.
Okay, you are able to get this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wait for a minute. I'm also checking the same thing.
Okay.
The command is CF Market.
It is -E or -S for checking the.
If your -E is not working, See, we have to be sure that whether you're using version 7 or version 6, 5, or sorry, version 6, 7 or 8 of your Cloud Foundry. So depending on to that, the parameters will change.
Okay.
I think there is
So for me, -A, it is not working. It is
okay,
showing no
so
service offering form.
okay, just hold on. First of all, you do this CF version. It will tell you what is the version that you are running your Cloud Foundry on. So for me, it is 8.5. If you are on 6,
Same here.
okay. So try using this command.
Yeah, I am getting the same message, whatever you have shown over here.
I am not getting. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen. I'm typing this command.
Okay.
Showing no service offering form. If I go to version also,
Okay, just hold on. Just hold on. Just enter the version. You're working on to the 8. Okay. Can
yeah,
you just try with S, please?
yeah. It is asking for E option, but when I'm trying with the E option, it is showing no service offering form.
That's what.
Yeah,
Can you just run CF Marketplace once
yeah.
without this parameters?
Yes.
Can you just try to search if Postgres is available over here?
Shall I do controller?
Mm.
Yeah, it is showing. No, but it is a part of command, I think.
If it is not available in your Cloud Foundry, then you'll not be able to use it.
Okay, but the version is same as yours.
Okay, what is the space that you have?
Dev space.
Is there anyone who is also facing the same issue where they're not able to list out this cloud space Postgres? They're not able to see the service Postgres itself. Everyone else is able to log in and see the Postgres onto the trial.
I am able to, whatever the screen you are showing, I have it at 2 messages, but I'm not able to create the thing, the last command.
Can you show me your screen, Anurag, right?
Sure. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen
This
is
command I
visible.
am telling.
Okay, you are able to see the trial and all, right?
Yes, whatever you are last, I'm able to see this thing.
Okay, now can you try creating CF? Create, CREATE. Hyphen service. POSTGRESQL hyphen DB.
Space trial.
Yeah, space trial. Spelling of your trial, TRIAL.
Oh, okay. This is the problem. Okay.
Okay. and then just type in as a DocDB. See,
Spelling was wrong.
Yeah, spelling was wrong.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we on to the same page, everyone?
So for me, it's saying this instance is already there actually for my account. So
Rajesh, can you share your screen, please?
yeah.
Can you just type in CF services space CF, not that command. Rajesh, just type in CF services.
1 minute.
Or I think you can use the service instances command.
Yeah. This is.
Just give me a second. Just type in CF services. Yes,
yeah.
Enter. So these are the services that are available for your application. So you already have this name, offering, and the plan. So the creation was successful, right? So you'll be always seeing this one because it is already created successfully for you.
Okay. So here, if I click it here, let's see. Here I am trying to do, but nothing is happening.
So we didn't completed that part.
Okay. So I thought that.
For us, who are facing the issue like no service offering, what can we do? Although we had the same version as you had.
I'll just look into it, like what is the issue, or if there is anything that is being missing.
Sure.
Okay. One more thing is, did you try setting out the parameters and everything earlier?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Also, Yamini, when
Yes.
it was trial home, and in that we can see HANA DB instance was also there. So why
Aditya,
didn't we
can
use
you
it?
be a little louder? Your voice is very feeble for me to hear.
In instances and subscriptions, we can see HANA DB.
Would you like to present the screen?
No, yes, we have it. Aditya, yeah, tell me.
So why we didn't use it? Means.
No, we are going to start with that. Okay. We are going to start with that. This is just we wanted to showcase the command line, what we have as part of the Cloud Foundry. Okay. And as you rightly pointed out, we are going to enable the instance for the HANA part of it. Okay. And let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share. Give me a minute. Let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes.
So guys, please go to your service marketplace. Okay. Select HANA here. Okay. HANA Cloud. Create the instance here. Okay. Here you will be getting a free account. Okay, hold on. I may have some different account here. Let me just try to log in with the right account. So guys, please log into your account. Okay, give a minute. I'm just trying to log in.
So Aditya was the one, right, who asked like why we are not using the HANA instance, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to show you if I am using if my service is available, I can just bind I can just bind that service to that instances or that applications. So that is where we were going through the command line, and the HANA part of it was left out for your CAPM applications. Okay, so
Oh,
we are also going to do that.
okay. I thought maybe there is it some restriction, that is why.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
No,
It
no.
wasn't because of
Okay.
restriction. It was
Yeah, means
we were
here also it is
exploring.
allowed. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah, how is PostgreSQL different from HANA Cloud, or like it is only used for a small uh, like capacity applications? Is it so?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, like as you explained to us that PostgreSQL is also a kind of a database.
Okay,
So
so Postgres
how is
is
it
a
different with
open
the SAP
source,
HANA
right?
Cloud? Okay.
Okay, so Postgres is a open source. It will not incur you any cost, but while you go with your HANA one, it will incur you a cost if, for example, if the data management, the document management is not required. I can simply go with the Postgres if there is a creation updation that is required. But in case if large size of the files, let's say I am creating any of the insurance applications, in that case I need to take data from the user where they are just submitting the kind of a claims. In that case that will not be helpful for me because the limitation would come in picture, or in case if there is an application which needs a graphical or the spatial data to be stored, in that case what I can do, instead of going with the Postgres, I can still go with the HANA, keeping in mind the cost also which we have to incur. We have to still take into consideration what is available and what is required for us. There are
Okay.
certain other factors which will come in place when we are going with any of the services.
Sure. Thank
Yeah. Guys, please go to your HANA account, HANA Cloud account, okay, and select the HANA free instance, okay. So I have, if you already seen, okay, I don't see that because I already consumed one instance. I don't see that one, but please share your screen, okay, if you're having, this plan, okay, HANA free, select it and create it. This will take at least 5 to 6 hours, based on the, server availability. And so tomorrow you have your instance ready. That is the idea. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start the tables creations inside the HANA Cloud of it, data upload, and then probably we'll start further.
Chintan, I'm also seeing the same thing. There's no free instance.
you. Yeah, me
Mine
also.
also. Mine also. We are not seeing
Can you,
free.
can you please share your screen? Are you all
Yeah,
using trial here? Yeah, please
yeah.
share. Anybody one of, yeah. Oh, okay. You're in trial account, right? Fine.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and create it. Okay, sorry. Because I was comparing with the production account, so that is fine. Okay, please create one. That is fine. Trial account, they will not incur any kind of costing. Yeah, but here is a different problem. Okay, let me just try to do that.
Chintan, can we navigate it via sub account? That will also be helpful, right?
Yeah, we can do that. Fine, guys. I'll check it out. Okay, and I'll let you know on this part.
Chintan, for me, it's getting a different screen. Like
Can you
here
please?
we are
Yeah,
just yeah, just as I'm
please share
sharing
it.
my screen.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
do
so
so.
I'm getting this step of the instance creation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fine. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Select the organization. Select the space. But what did you select? Is it
Yeah,
the date?
basically, when I try to you know select that
Mhm.
marketplace, in that marketplace I selected HANA Cloud. So in that drop down, only tools came as a plan. If I'm opening this,
Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
I created, so it's not coming
Oh,
over here.
you might have created. Okay. Go to applications. That is perfectly fine. Go to. Okay. That's fine. You can go from there as well.
Yeah, but that drop down didn't came like in the plan. The tools kind of a thing came.
Yeah. No.
Now,
Please open it. Please open it. Let's just try to see.
now I'm going with the application.
Yeah.
So I need to create on create, right?
No, there is some authorization issue, right? You can see it over here. Maybe you can click on the create instance. Here it's available, right? Yeah. Let's just try to go
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. Select it. Go to next. Yeah. Select the organization is not available.
So maybe I
So
need to relog in, I think.
probably you can try it out, and you also please refresh, clear the browser cache, and try it out. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Otherwise,
you. Thank you.
sometimes from the cookies, if it is checking the credentials, and it will not work out.
Sure. I'll try. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Guys,
Vishal here. I don't see
yeah,
that
Vishal.
option itself. HANA DB.
Maybe you can share your screen once. I didn't expect that we'll have so many different screens here, but that's fine. Yeah.
My trial account.
Go to HANA. Oh, you don't have the HANA instance. How come?
Yeah.
Go to spaces. Go to spaces. No, hold on. Go to spaces. Click here. Go to HANA Cloud. No entitlements have been added yet. Okay, please go to entitlement page. Assign a quota. Go to go to sub account level. Yeah, global level. Fine. Okay. Go to trial. Go to entitlements. No, left hand side. Yeah, fine. You go to entitlement, left hand side bottom. Scroll down, left panel, left navigation panel.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, entitlements. Scroll down. Do you have HANA Cloud? You don't have it. So why is it saying that Kyma in containers is fine? Where is the DB?
Is it like while creating a sub account, I haven't chosen something?
No. You can subscribe to this service at any moment, okay?
Later also, right?
Yeah, later also. It is not mandatory that it will be available by default, okay? So you can choose later also. Oh, okay. It's another variation. Okay. Can you go to the global account? Let's just try to see what kind of entitlements if we can have. Click on trial. Yeah, go to entitlements here. Left hand side. Yeah, and service assignment. Yeah.
Okay, service.
Scroll down. Do we have HANA? HANA Cloud. Oh, we don't have. Okay, go to dev account, account explorer, sub account, account explorer. Go to dev trial. Yes, go to that. Click on it, and click on the service marketplace. No. Let's just try to see HANA one more time, right? I think everybody who are using trial should have. I'm surprised. That's strange one.
Yeah, because global account has it, but my trial account.
Even global account does not have the HANA cloud. Yeah.
Try to write cloud actually here. Not HANA, cloud actually. Search with the cloud.
This service is not assigned to any sub account.
Or directory.
Choose entity assignment from the site navigation to configure entitlement and assign this service.
Go to entity assignments one more time. Do we have something? Click enter. Click enter. Nothing is there.
Nothing.
Okay. It's a strange one. I have no clue why it is behaving so weird. Okay. Definitely, because this is not the ideally it should not. Hold on. That it might be possible. It might be possible. Where in which region did you create your trial account? Can you
Singapore, Azure.
Okay, and please open the Discovery Center. Please open the Discovery Center.
Where do I see an option?
Okay.
Into your new tab.
New
You
tab.
just open, yeah, Discovery Center.
SAP Discovery Center.
And search for the HANA Cloud Service.
Yeah. Go to services. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. I'm just guessing. Probably. Let's see if it is a. Go to services. Service catalog. Scroll down. Can you scroll down? Yeah. Service catalog. Yeah. Search for HANA. HANA Cloud. Maybe anyway. Yeah. Click there.
Click here.
Yeah. Please click there. Click on the globe account. Go to pricing. Go to pricing. Pricing. Yeah. Click on the globe account. Do we have maybe globe right hand side?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Globe icon.
Not working. Okay, maybe you can scroll down. No. There is something is happening.
Okay.
I think that is not a.
Yeah, it's there in Singapore.
Yeah, we have it. No idea then. Vishal. Okay. Why it's behaving so weird? No idea. Okay, I thought that's probably.
Chintan, what is the instance number name we have to give while HANA Cloud creation?
Maybe Manju, you can give. We can give anything here.
Okay, anything we can give.
Yeah, anything we can give. Guys, one thing, okay, if you are creating it and if you are using the DBA admin and password, please make sure you remember, you note it down. DBA admin ID password, save it somewhere. It would be really essential. Okay, it will not be available in future if you miss it. Guys, I think we are good to for today's. We wanted to create it, but unfortunately, everybody's having a different part of it. Even I'll check it out from my side. Okay, I checked yesterday only, but somehow today it's not there. Fine, guys. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with this. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.